Despite all the other craziness in my life these days, I really think the best thing I can do is get this boat done. So maybe I can do some chartering and whatever else. So I think it's back to work on these hatches. Applied my garbage bags successfully. So I was going to take a sec to show you this water maker that one of these days I'll be working on. I think this thing's kind of cool. Found it on Craigslist, and it just so happens to fit just right underneath the seat. You know, there's a cat pump there that pounds water through some membranes, and that causes all, you know, it separates the sea salt and everything else from the water, just leaves you totally pure water. The membranes are underneath this cushion over here, so I'll show you those quick. They also fit pretty nice. Just kind of see that white tube in there. There's another one next to it, a can of varnish in between the two, just for good measure. Anyway, there'll be some future video. Point out quick, before I pull this glass out on this side, you can see how low the glass sets compared to the top of the wood. And I think that's the whole problem, is the water's just kind of collecting up on that lip at the bottom. And you really have to kind of change the structural, you know, also like drop the level of the wood down there to actually fix that, because no amount of caulk is going to fix that problem. If you have standing water, it'll always find its way in. Anyway, I've scraped as much of that silicone caulk as I think I can off of there. And now I'm going to grab some 60 grit and go to town and see what I can do here. It's always fun. Anyhow, that's how it's looking after some sanding over here. And it's actually taking that lip right off. I gotta be happy with that. And I'm wondering if it'll save me some time if I take my fine tool to try to cut that lip off rather than just sanding it all off. We'll see. Broke out my old hand planer. I thought it would save me some time, and I think it has. It moves real quick. Unless I'm trying to get the blade at just the right setting, but it's taking the slip off a lot faster than the sandpaper, and you can just see all those curls of wood. It just tears right off of there, so it really moves quick. It'll take some sanding to get the color all even again, but yeah, I think that's coming along pretty good. Attack this other side with a hand planer, not even any sandpaper first. It's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna see how much I can get done in maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. There's a half hour in of scraping, or hand planing, I guess you could say, and it's coming right along. Might have to take it down a little further, but you can see, like, at the top here, that lip where that metal was inset, totally gone. And it's taking a lot of work, but I think I'll maybe another half hour worth of hand planing, and then a bunch of sanding. I'll be looking pretty good. It was 80 grit that I've been using. I thought I was using 60, but it's 80, by the way. You can see all these shavings down here from the planing. Probably grabbing some lunch soon, and I'll keep you guys posted on this stuff. Update on this patch, I mean, on the inflatable. It looks like it held on there pretty good. Yesterday I could see some air leaking. You know, you can see bubbles blowing out of the bottom. This time I see a little bubble coming out the top right here by my finger, and I think a little later I'll go over this with a heat gun and just roll it out there again. There's plenty of new glue in there, and I bet some extensive heat gunning and rolling will fix that one up. It'll be nice to have this thing all sealed up. It held air really well compared to how it's been doing. So that patch definitely took care of probably like 90% of the leak. And I bet I can, once that patch is on there, I bet that's the only leak on this tube. But I guess we'll see. Those good guys at Jimmy John's will sell you a whole loaf of their day-old bread for only 50 cents. 50 cents! That is a hell of a deal. I'm back at it. I'm just showing you this view from out of my front window of my pilot house. You can see this, now that lip over here has just been ground right on off. You can kind of see where it's visible again further out, further forward. I'll be focusing up here, and on this side, of course, too. I just thought that was a good view to show you some progress. More more progress, and you know, I've just been using that hand planer on this whole side, and it's looking pretty nice. Some of these spots I think I'll just sand. Like, I could just continue planing that for a while to bring everything down to that level, but I can also just get some sandpaper in there, and I don't know if I want to sacrifice so much surrounding wood just to bring it all down. You can see that that lip is gone most of the way around. And if I look at this other side from here, you can see how prominent the lip is. So you can see where I'll be going to next over there with my hand planer. And that lip is just coming right off. Taking a lot of work with that hand sander though, or hand planer. And a little sanding here too. I've been curious how some of these marks for the planer will come out with some sandpaper. And it seems like the 80 grit takes them right out. Definitely still have my work cut out for me on this. Here we are after a whole bunch of hand planing. My hands hurt, that's for sure, but it is coming along good. I got that lip pretty much all gone. Almost. And I think I'm going to run and grab some plugs. So I'm not going to need those metal pieces anymore, so I'm going to plug all these little holes. I think that's the next step. And then there'll be a bunch more, probably a little bit more hand planing after I cut the plugs and some sanding. I don't know if I'm going to worry about the base part right now. I was just worried about remounting these windows and fixing the tops of these hatches, so not sure. I don't want to expand my scope too much. I got enough half-ton projects around here, that's for sure. By the way, here's how those hatches are looking. Looking pretty nice. Still have to caulk the windows, get all those screws in, some dolphinite, put the hinges back in. I think that's 4 or 5 coats. And on this box I still have to caulk in that front piece of wood and get it all back together with the cowlings, or the cowling on it. There's a little fan that goes on there and some other little piece. Yep. Next order of business now, I'm going to take these 1/4-inch plugs, they're mahogany, Honduran mahogany, and take my 1/4-inch drill bit, hit all these little holes, of which there's probably about 100 of them. Well, hopefully less than 100. I mean, I only have 100 plugs. I think there's probably 80 or so. But I'm going to drill all those out and get my glue in those plugs, and probably call it a night on this guy. But then I'm going to take some sandpaper and go over my entire house, and the gunnel, which is that little lip all the way around the boat. Call it the gunnel and cap board. I need to hit that with some 400 and then get some more varnish on there. Those are my evening plans, I think. Now I'm going to take some tape and mark the length of my bit so that I don't accidentally drill in too far for, you know, when I'm re-drilling these holes for these plugs. Drilled all those holes out. Now I'm ready to do some plugging. And you know, you'll remember these little, if you saw my other video a few videos ago, I had these little chips of wood that came out along the side here, further like right in here. So I'll go ahead and glue those in too while I'm at it. An hour, but I got it all plugged up. And look at this, there's 1 plug left. And at that, it's even like a little bit of a misshapen plug too. So I had like exactly the number I need. I guess there's 99 little holes in there. Anyway, I think I'll wrap up this video, get online. I'll just be doing a little bit more sanding tonight, and then back at it tomorrow. Catch you later.